noodles are heating up, and so is the competition. And you know what we need to do for you, Josh, is we need to get you a bib with like embroidered Eyewitness News, Josh Eats.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. I eat way too much. But then again, we always joke around how much I run. That's why I run. That's why I work out. If I didn't work out, I'd be huge by now. But it's part of the reason I love my job. It's gotten to the point now, I'm here with Bryan Miller. Bryan, it's gotten to the point here in Bakersfield where people see me and I'm not eating something, they're surprised. I know, it's out of control. But Bryan here with me with Eagle Mountain Casino, and he's part of what's called the Chef Showdown. The first time we're doing that this year at the Nut Festival, where we're taking in-town chefs versus out-of-town chefs and comparing what they can come up with as far as a nutty food recipe. Bryan, as I come in here, Earners, I already see you're getting started here inside the Earners kitchen. What do you have in store? What are you making right now?
Well, I'm making a pistachio pasta. I made these noodles from scratch with a walnut pesto and chicken.
That sounds very complicated already.
Not really. Not really at all. It's actually very simple. Very.
So what are you working on right now? What do we have to do?
Well, I have the chicken sautéed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make our pesto. Now, our traditional pesto is made with pine nuts or pinions, but I'm going to use walnuts for this recipe. All we really do is we just put everything into the food processor.
Now, what's this, basil?
Basil.
Oh, how did I know that? I've been hanging out with too many chefs.
Pretty good.
I don't cook at all, Bryan, if you can't tell.
You don't?
I bake some salmon. That's about it.
That's great. Salmon's hard.
I don't think I've ever used basil in my life.
Really?
No.
Oh, you're missing out. Okay, we got garlic. We got our walnuts. Now, these are toasted. Toasted and unsalted. Okay. So I don't like salt. I like to add it myself.
Now, is this just what kind of blender is this?
This is a KitchenAid food processor.
But can you make pesto in just about any kind of blender?
Yeah, you need high speeds.
Just very high speed. Handy the tongs right here. Okay.
We're going to add some sun-dried tomatoes. This is where I kind of vary on the recipe.
Beautiful.
I do a little bit of extra here.
Now, while you mix this up, if someone's at home watching right now and they want to learn how to make something creative, what's your best advice?
Play with your food. Play with your food. Learn what goes well together. Have fun with it. Like I said, walnuts, you can use almonds, you can use any kind of nut in here. It's all about your preference and what you like.
Now, what do you think your chances are in winning this Chef Showdown?
Fair.
Fair? Yeah, there's some competition.
There's a lot of competition.
Which will have one of his competitors coming up next, guys. If you want to see these guys in action on Saturday, they start cooking around 11 o'clock after our Nutty Food Recipe Contest. That starts around 10 o'clock there at the Kern County Museum. If you want tickets, it's not too late. It's kcmuseum.org. Bryan, that looks fantastic. And that was pretty easy. That wasn't bad.
It's not bad. We got to add the oil to make a sauce, but other than that, we're almost done.
All right, we're going to be with Bryan coming up in the next hour showing the finished product of his amazing dish. But before we do, coming up in the next 15 minutes or so, we'll be with one of his competitors. All right? Don't go anywhere, guys. All
right, Josh. Thank you very much, Josh, at Earners this morning. We're
burning, and this man's already been eating his way through Bakersfield leading up to this Nut Festival competition.
That's right, Amity. One of my favorite parts of my job, you know me. I love to eat food. I'm continuing that trend this morning in preview of the Nut Festival. Bryan Miller here with me with Eagle Mountain Casino, and he's part of what's called the Chef Showdown. We're taking some in-town chefs here in Bakersfield. They're going up against some out-of-town chefs, including Bryan right here, to see who has the best nutty recipes. And in case we have viewers just now tuning in, Bryan, this is a very unique pesto sauce we just made, and boy, does it look beautiful.
Oh, it's delicious.
And it's like a walnut pesto that makes it very unique.
Correct. It's a walnut pesto, lots of garlic, lots of basil, olive oil, salt and pepper.
And show us what you're doing right now.
This pasta I made, it's a pistachio pasta. It's part AP flour and part pistachio dust. And I just made my noodles this morning, and I'm going to throw them in my water. The thing with fresh noodles is it only takes a couple minutes to cook. You know, normal pasta at home takes 10 minutes. This only takes a couple minutes, and then we'll be done.
And if you're making pasta, you gave me some great tips off camera as well, besides from just, not overcooking it. What are some other, useful tips, whether you're working with a sauce or whatever?
The water is very important with pasta. Okay. It's a starchy concoction that's wonderful. You add this to any sauce, and it makes it come together beautifully. Do not throw out your water. Always use your water.
You can check them out about 11 a.m. at the Nut Festival. You can get a lot of tips. They're very friendly. They're very nice, very approachable. Feel free to ask them any cooking tips while you're there. It's also just following our Nut Festival recipe winning contest. They'll announce the winners. Bryan will be part of the judge team, if you will. Guys, you can go to kcmuseum.org to get tickets. Also, if you want to learn how to cook, Earners has classes. You can check out their website, earners.com. If you want to come down here, they do that a few times every month. I'm going to partake in this delicious, this beautiful dish. And Amity, Amity's our anchor's actually Italian. Eat your heart out. How about this? A walnut, pesto, pistachio noodle. What is this? Fettuccine? Fettuccine chicken dish. Yeah, baby.
My stomach
yeah.
is actually growling. When he started talking about that earlier, I was like, oh, I love that.
Oh my goodness, Amity, that is phenomenal.
That looks
Bryan,
so-
that is amazing.
That is so yummy.
Thank you very much.
I
That
try not to
seriously
eat
tastes like-
pasta anymore, but I ate that cannoli last week, and I would seriously eat that whole plate if you
Oh,
brought it back,
Amity.
so you shouldn't do that.
Oh, this is unbelievable. This is something out of a 5-star restaurant.
Yum. What's coming up next, Josh?
Okay, what's coming up next is another great dish. I can't tell you what it is because honestly, I'm not sure.
Okay.
It has something to do with something nutty. Mono told me what it was, but I kind of blacked out because I was so busy at the moment.
Yeah. Something to do
But
with
we're going to have that coming up in the next 15 minutes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Josh.